There's one process I've seen many companies struggle with. It has to be purchase orders. I've had so many cases where clients would come to me and ask how they can make this process more efficient, and I've used many tools to try and reach it. But I think I found one of the most optimized ways. So let's see how we can use some tools to make this process more efficient. Today we're going to look at how we can use SmartSuite as the home for our data, Fillout to get purchase orders from our clients, Make.com to automate the process, get the information, and then put it back into SmartSuite, and then Eden AI to pause the purchase orders for us to use the information within SmartSuite. Hi there, I'm Quentin Pearson and welcome to Elevate. We help small teams and companies automate manual processes with low-code tools. We help you integrate your new and existing tools to work more efficiently, save money, and save time. Visit us at elevateam.net. So the way we want purchase orders to work is we normally want one purchase order and then all the information within it. Usually it's comprised of multiple line items within that purchase order. And the way I've approached this is to create a table for all your purchase orders and then your order items. Firstly, we'll create a purchase order and information regarding that purchase order will be added. Secondly, what we want is each of the line items within that purchase order, we want to display them separately. So the easiest way to do that is to create a separate table for your order items and then link them directly to your purchase order. To go through the process of how we do that, we firstly set up all our tables within SmartSuite. For now, I'm just using the purchase order and order items tables. That way it's not as complex. You can do so much more with this, like add invoices, add your customers, and maybe even once everything's done, add a delivery to that as well to track your purchase orders. After your SmartSuite is set up, you'd like to set up Fillout as well. This is really basic. You only have a title and an upload field where you can then submit it. You'll come to integrations and then integrate your Make account with Fillout. That way, when you submit this form, the information is sent over to Make to then handle the rest of the process. If we go to Make, we can see that there's 5 steps that then handle this entire process. First, we receive the purchase order from Fillout. We then parse the purchase order and then create the purchase order within SmartSuite. So this is the first table we've seen, that is the whole purchase order. Secondly, we iterate through each of the line items that were parsed, and then we add each order item in the second table, as well as link them to the purchase order. That way, everything is added into our database and it's handled separately. Another thing with purchase orders we might need to think about is you and your client might not have the same order product numbers, and you'd like to find what item they submitted within your own product. So to do that, you have an extra table where you then have all your products and their prices added as well, and you just reference that table each time before creating order items. That way, if your prices and your client's prices differs, you'll always be able to have your most up-to-date price right here. I've used a lot of tools to parse these types of purchase orders. And I have to say, I've found Eden AI to be probably the most simple because it returns all your data in a usable structure each time. So even though you might use 2 different purchase order setups, you'll eventually get the same data through and use that within your next steps. So where that plays an important role is within Make. Each time we get a purchase order and the fields might be different, it's hard for us to decide where the information is we need and how to then link that. Using Eden AI, it's simplified because the result we get is a standard output. To give you an example of that, we can go back into the history and then have a look at how the data is returned. So as we can see, After the form has been submitted with our purchase order, we send this to Eden AI to parse the file. After the file is parsed, we receive all the information and we can see all the line items within that file. Whether it's this one or another one, it returns the data in the same format. So we can see all the information for each line, and later on this is really important when we want to create the order line items. The next step would be to create the purchase order itself. That way we'd have one single purchase order to link all our order items to. Next, we iterate through it. So what we get from the purchase order is an array of line items. This is all the order items your client has requested from you. So what we need to do is we need to go into that array and then create an order item for each item in that array. That's where the step comes in. So you'll see that we've received one single array with multiple order items in it, and over here 3 items were output. So that means that there were 3 items within that purchase order. Now that we have a better idea of what's going on, let's see the process in action. So first we're going to start by using this first demo purchase order and then submit it into Fillout to then use it in the next step. So over here we'll see that Make automatically runs the document that was posted and all the items are created. If we go over to SmartSuite, we can see that a main purchase order has been created, and if we go to the order items, we can see that each item within that purchase order has been created in the order items table. So secondly, we have a completely different purchase order that we're going to run through exactly the same process. We submit it, we look at the Make automation that handles the purchase order. You'll see a main purchase order is created and all the items are created separately. If we go into SmartSuite again, we'll see this running live and all the data is there. Like I mentioned earlier, we can really improve this process by adding so much features, but this is the most basic setup I could think of. Eventually, you'd like to add all these items, maybe even add a button to generate an invoice and have an automation send that out. This is all possible. Eventually, you maybe also want to have all your invoices that are linked to a customer, or maybe reference the customer and see all their order items or all their purchase orders, whatever it might be. So it's super exciting what we can do with this, and I really think that Eden AI has made this so much easier to achieve. So if you have any questions on how you can make this process your own, please feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for watching the video. If it helped you out at all, please consider subscribing or contacting us on elevateteam.net so that we can look into your own use case and possibly create custom solutions to make your life just a little easier.